how can community organizing relate to the classroom? I'm Larry Ferlazzo, and I was a community organizer for 19 years prior to becoming a teacher 22 years ago. And I like to share in a series of short videos how community organizing has affected my teaching strategies in the classroom. Today I'm going to focus on a couple of organizing adages. One goes like this way. Sometimes the only worse thing than losing a fight is winning one. And in organizing outside of schools, what that means is maybe you have fought a good fight, it's taken every last ounce of energy out of you and your organization, but it's ended up hollowing out the organization in the victory. It's sort of a Pyrrhic victory. And in teaching, that corresponds to the idea of picking what fights you choose to fight, right? You didn't bring a pencil? Here's some pencils. You didn't bring paper? Here's paper. You make a little minor snotty comment. Just continue with the lesson. You make a racist or insulting comment to someone, it's a different story. And this organizing maxim can also relate to this idea of power struggles in the classroom. As veteran teachers know, you can never win a power struggle with a student, right? It may appear like we've had, but the resentment will always poison the atmosphere. And this leads me to the second organizing maxim, that if you're going to polarize, always depolarize as soon as you can. And that relates to this idea of there are no permanent allies or opponents, only changing self-interests. So in organizing outside the school, that means that yes, political fights often require polarization. However, it's likely that your opponent is still going to be around after that political fight is over, and you may need him or her as an ally in the future. So you want to figure out ways to re-engage with them as quickly as possible, just in case that happens. And in teaching, this adage has reminded me that you never want to do anything that would embarrass a student. And if I do, make sure I publicly apologize. And when tension does happen between a student and me, I always work towards depolarizing as soon as possible. By the end of that class period, by the end of that day, finding him her at a different class. This organizing adage reminds me of a wisdom from educator Marvin Marshall, who recommends that teachers always keep this in mind. Will what am I about to do bring me closer, or will it push me further away from the person with whom I'm communicating? Doesn't mean we shy away from hard communications, but how we do it is what's critical. What are ways that you have applied these organizing principles without even knowing that they're organizing principles in your classroom?